Testing. Oh, man. I know why. I got sound now, huh? I think a little munchkin that's 4 years old came in here and got on my soundboard. I'm like, what broke today? And then I look over here. We got sound now, right? Hold on. Okay. I was thinking we were gonna have to start this whole thing over. Like something didn't add up here. What is wrong? But then I go over to my soundboard, and sure enough, they're all the way down on all of them. Hopefully, let's see, make sure I don't have 2, 3, and 4 audio auxiliary. Okay. That little Caden, I tell you what. Oh man. Well, that's starting off the show good. That cracks me up. That kid, amazing. He keeps saying, and I keep telling him, yesterday we were down in Bakersfield at the AOC Bernie Sanders bust-in event, and he goes, "Daddy, I go live with you," meaning he wants to go live stream with me. And there's some events coming up that shouldn't have any opposition that we will be going to. And I said, yeah, you know what? We'll give your mom a break. We'll go out of town Friday night. We'll go hang out. We'll eat all kind of ice cream in the hotel. And the next day you can come stream with me. I know that'll probably be my biggest live stream and my biggest numbers, maybe even my biggest donations I get, because it's not about me, guys. It's always about that little kid. But last night when I got home, he came over and he cuddled up with me. He's like, "Dad, I go live stream with you?" So welcome back. He says, see, he blames everybody else. I'm throwing my 4-year-old under the bus, guys. It was probably all my fault, but Uncle Bill says I'm throwing my 4-year-old under the bus. Man, so we got a lot to talk about today. We got 2 shows that are going to be packed. And so if you go through the first show and you're like, man, I thought he would discuss this, it'll probably be in the second show for sure. And so want to thank you all for tuning in. Hit that thumbs up, share this out. One of the things I did want to cover, we're going to get into a little bit of the AOC stuff yesterday. Most of you guys were live for it, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I know PETA's probably upset that I said beat a dead horse, but that's okay. I like PETA, people eating tasty animals. Check this out. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, we've covered this for the last, 5-6 weeks, where we have shown you even clips from Democrats saying we're sending our people into their communities when it comes to town halls and things. And they're trying to say, oh, these folks are MAGA. Look at all these people regret their votes. And they're not. They're the same people we seen at Bernie Sanders yesterday. They're the same people. They're just utilizing them so they can get some video clips. Well, yesterday, Marjorie Taylor Greene had a town hall, and I want to play some of it. The video does get a little sketchy at one point. It wasn't me. I wasn't there. I guess C-SPAN had some issues, but we're going to play this, and then we're going to get into it. It looks like there was multiple arrests. I can't believe it. They broke the cardinal rule. They arrested a black man. You cannot do that anymore, guys, because then it's all about racism. But let's take a listen to this, and we'll get into the show.
Can I take this off?
Oh, hold on. Let me refresh that really quick.
Can I take this off? Oh, this is wired. Okay. Well, welcome, everyone. Thank you.
This is where it freezes a little bit.
Thank you. Thank you to our great police officers. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my town hall. This is a town hall. This is not a political rally. This is not a protest.
So she says it right here again, because I just want to point this out, because the left obviously takes every video clip and they're like, oh my God. So you have a First Amendment right in some areas. You don't have a right to go into a Denny's, a private town hall. That's what it is, open to the public, but this is a private venue open to the public. So they get to decide. Just like we've been kicked out of many Democrat things. We haven't been let in. When they scan our ID, it comes up and it goes ding, ding, ding. You can't go in to see Ted Lieu. And it sucks, especially when, you know, a lot of times it can be constituents. But again, she is trying to convey a message to people that want to hear her. Again, Republicans usually don't go to town halls in many areas. They just don't, unless there isn't a dire issue. But I'm going to get into this video. I'm going to show you a little bit more of what happened.
If you stand up and want to protest, if you want to shout and chant, we will have you removed just like that man was thrown out. We will not tolerate it. Let me tell you, this is funded. The Democrats have been rioting. They are the party of violence. They are the party that go. If you want to sit and
I just want to show, when you're told to leave by an officer and you leave, what happens? It shouldn't take a brainiac in the background to answer this. You get to walk out of the building. Again, you are on private property. You were asked to leave. You get up and leave.
listen, you're welcome to listen. Everyone across the aisle. Democrats, Independents, Republicans. This is a good.
So we'll move over to some other video clips that happened yesterday.
You have a lot.
Why won't my escape button work? Oh, you know what? I started off in the wrong one. Oh, well. Now, this was another one who didn't listen too well. And again, it's kind of, and like I said, I told you guys, I just got off the phone with Fresno PD for a complaint. We'll get into it in the next show because I gotta draw my thoughts down. But one of the things I said, and I said, well, you know, we were off subject quite a bit, but I was like, you know, people just voted in the 2024 election for true law and order. What we used to see when a criminal commits a crime, we want him in jail. We want him arrested. And it was just, it's just interesting when you see this in some areas rather than other areas. Look at this guy refusing to leave. Stop. If you don't leave, we make you leave.
Really?
Thank you. Thank you.
Do it.
I love the crowd clapping right there. Like, they're like, law and order, tase him. It reminds me when we were in San Francisco and it was a Patriot March across the Golden Gate Bridge. And there was some of those Antifa thugs that were trying to run in and do some stuff. And I guess I can't remember exactly what happened. I actually have the video now. I told you guys I went through some old videos. I got to start posting those. And I can't remember. But the cops were running up to arrest him. And I was like, shoot him. Shoot him. It was comedy more than anything else. I didn't really mean to shoot him. Arrest him for sure.
Don't move. Stop.
This is a peaceful town hall.
Mostly peaceful now. It's mostly peaceful now. So people took just the clip of that man getting tased And they were like, oh, the racist cops, you know, the same race baiting stuff that we're seeing almost every day still yet. Again, I wish we could focus on true hate and true racism, but there's not enough to go around. That's why we have all the Jussie Smollett hoaxes and we have everything else. But check this out. There's reasons why this stuff happens. Check this out. This was before the tase. Look at this officer right here and what this man did to an officer. Now, I'm just going to tell you, I don't know if I would ever resist arrest unless it was like, you know, probably the Gestapos from the Biden administration coming. Because you know what? I'm one guy. If there's 6 of them, they're going to get me down. It's probably going to hurt me. And like, I'd rather not go through that to resist arrest. But take a look at this right here. This man was all hands on. Look at him. He's grabbing the officer. He's shoving the officer back. He's dragging the officer with him. Now, to me, depending on where you are, and again, if you're not scared of the left and their weaponized lawsuits against you, that man should have a lot of charges, a lot more than resisting arrest. I want to play that again. Look at that officer's pretty much by himself at this point. He doesn't have any backup.
I was trying to get you.
He's a cop, so he's
now here comes the cops, and then here's the part where they tase him. Now, I know some people might not like this, but the second you lay a hand on an officer, if I'm an officer, I'm tasing you. I got a family to get home to, and I'm not talking about the ones where they're 16 feet away and they shoot a taser. I'm not talking about that. If you're hands on, it's either I see cops won't do this. I'm old school. I'd be the old school 80s cop. It'd be a billy club coming out and whack. But that's the appropriate thing to do. Is I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. If this is a MAGA event and a MAGA dude started grabbing his hands on this officer and strong arming him, I'm sorry, guys. That isn't a bootlicker. That's like, listen, this guy's just trying to do his job there. And this man goes and does this.
I know.
So that was the excitement over at the Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I didn't give my hellos, so I got to go back to the top and give some hellos. Hunter is in the house. Trina, Pixie, K Texas is in the house. C Marcia, Susan K Spencer, Deb V, old Uncle Bill. He was late today. Look at that. Old Uncle Bill was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th person to comment. Really, old Uncle Bill? He's going to be blaming Caden on that one. B Mikey, and let me go down to the bottom now. B Mikey, let's see who else is in here. Micro Taz, Jalen, Renee, Darla Miller. Thank you guys for being up in here. And I hope you all had a good view of yesterday's stream while we were in Bakersfield. So again, these videos are being utilized by the left, but you know, I'm reflecting on the call I had, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, the left has weaponized everything. When I'm out at the protest, there's videos going around with me, oh, this person, this white supremacist, blah, blah, blah. And I just laugh at it because guess what? They have failed. They have failed. Every time they tried to say this was done for that reason, that was done for that reason. We're going to have another video. We're not going to show it to you during this show, but another time, there was a man who stole a police cruiser, was fighting with an officer. Now he's dead. Unfortunate circumstances, but again, it's part of, I think it was it Newton or was it Einstein that came up with fool around and find out. Yep, there's a little chart about that. So let me go back. This is where I was supposed to start at. For some reason, my cursor was off. We got to hear from Joe Biden again yesterday, and it never disappoints. It never disappoints. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think Joe Biden's racist in the sense of, I think he has some old school tendencies. Like, I think he was raised to think blacks are lesser of people, and I think he's tried to change that. I do. But we've heard it before. Whenever he talks about the black community, I'm like, man, if I talked about the black community like he did, come on now.
Kids.
Take a listen to this. Come on, open up.
And I had never seen hardly any black people in Scranton.
He's never seen any black people in
I was going
Scranton.
in fourth grade. And I remember seeing the kids going by at the time called colored kids on a bus going by.
He's seen the colored kids on the bus going by. Makes me think the wheels on the bus go round and round. I guarantee Joe Biden sings that song. I mean, that's probably what they get when they, what are you going to talk about today? Oh, the colored kids on the bus. He didn't disappoint. He was out there trying to, this is one of his first public appearances since he left office, like on a main stage. And again, he was just out there to push the same fear tactics that they're cutting your Social Security, they're cutting Medicaid, all these other things. He did say, I didn't pull up because I'm not going to focus. He's irrelevant. I wanted to use this because it was the beginning of the show, gets people in the show, and we can laugh at him. But he did say something like about 30% of Americans talking about MAGA are conservatives and the disgusting people we are. Check this out. This is Democrat Rep. Laura Friedman. And a lot of people have tweeted this out saying, they're saying the quiet part out loud. Now, we know that the left, one way or another, is trying to use lawfare. They used it during the whole Biden presidency. And I just find it amazing. They even had that. They even talked about their shadow government, all these things that if we would have heard about this 15, 20 years ago, we would have been all treason, doing this behind the backs of the American people. I want you to listen to this.
Nonstop being on social media. Every single week, we have a litigation working group where a large group of us, and I'm talking there's maybe 75 members of the House, sit down every single week with the AGs to talk about legal strategy. This is all going on every single week behind the scenes. It is nonstop talk, nonstop introduction of bills and legislation, nonstop being on social media as much as we can without being throttled and without the crazy analytics and doing all these things.
So, Democrats are meeting behind closed doors with leftist attorney generals. Why? It's called lawfare. They are trying to find things in different states, all these different attorney generals coming in from different states. We're going to talk here in a minute about another lawsuit from AG Bonta in California, and then Gavin Newsom speaks on it regarding tariffs. Democrats cannot offer you anything. Democrats have no plan, no solution. And you know what? If they did, I think you guys know, if there was something a Democrat said that I could get on board with, I would be like, hey, this is something, if we can get some bipartisanship, I think we should do. You know, we know what their agenda has been for at least, I can't count how many years, but even before Trump. And we're going to talk about some of that when we get to the AOC stuff here in a minute. But again, they got the shadow government. They're meeting behind with leftist AGs, 70 of them, approximately. They're not coming up with solutions like, hey, you know what? And we won't see it. But they are sitting here saying, we don't like the way deportations are going. Well, I'm sorry. You come into the country legally. There's issues with that. Now, with that being said, Trump offered them, and we talk about this a lot, with DACA. He said, listen, I'll work a deal with you on DACA. Just give me money to secure the border wall. This is what I need. And then these DACA people, as long as there's no criminal histories behind them and everything, we'll give them a path to citizenship. You would have thought Democrats would have been all, yes. No. They said no. They knew that they needed to do whatever they could in 2020, even if that included cheating, so that they could get more than 15 million illegals in here. And now they're fighting to keep them. And we got some big stuff on that coming up on the show. I thought this was interesting. We know that Trump signed numerous executive orders trying to get wokeness out of the country, trying to get DEI out of our schools. Maine went against him. We talked about that other day, and we'll probably talk about Columbia a little more in the next show, but Columbia University came out, or was it Harvard? Harvard came out, I think it was Columbia, said, no, we're going to defy this federal rule. So AG Bondi said this today. I think it was today, maybe Monday, or maybe yesterday.
The Department of Justice is announcing a civil lawsuit against the Maine Department of Education. The state of Maine is discriminating against women by failing to protect women in women's sports. Pretty basic stuff. This is a violation of Title IX. The Department of Justice will not sit by when women are discriminated against in sports. This is about sports. This is also about these young women's personal safety. I've met many of these women throughout the past weeks and months, and what they have been through is horrific. We have exhausted every other remedy. We tried to get Maine to comply. We don't like standing up here and filing lawsuits. We want to get states to comply with us. That's what this is about. We have repeatedly notified Maine of its infractions and urged them to remedy the situation to protect women. We've stripped grants from Maine through other departments, and we are going to continue to fight for women.
It's pretty sad when you have to have your attorney general, when you have to have any lawsuits that just protect women. I mean, we went from one side of the extremism to the other in reality. I mean, if you go back through civil rights and everything else, you know, this fight for women's rights, their right to vote, their right to be equal. And then we get there, and now we want to put men in women's sports. Like, take it all away, guys. Let's take it all away. You know what? If you're 16 years old and you're working, you're going to school 8 hours away, practicing 4 hours a day, and you want to get up there in whatever sport competition, we're going to put you up against a man. Not only are we going to put you up against a man, we're going to let that man change with you in the locker room and use the stall right next to you. It's insane. It's insane. Again, we're going to see this for the next 4 years. The next 4 years. It's going to be just absolutely incredible. So we talked about the Marjorie Taylor Greene thing. This was supposed to go in right next to it. But so this is what they're doing. Remember, we've covered it. We had Chuck Schumer. We're sending our people into their districts. So the thing is here, Chuck Grassley had a little town hall or something. And they even put them in MAGA hats. And that's what their tagline is. MAGA hat people are upset with Trump and this and that. I tell you what, if you're wearing a MAGA hat, you want mass deportations. You probably want to go out there and help yourself. Count me in, Coach. Hey, Coach Trump, I'm right here. I'm in California. There's a lot of us here. But that's not the way they want it to be portrayed. Watch this. This is a long video, but I'm not going to play it all.
You're interested in border security?
Yes. I'm believe very strongly in my Christian faith. I preach on Sundays, and I believe very strongly in we welcome the stranger. Because anyway.
Look at the guy in the MAGA hat clapping. Look at the guy in the MAGA hat clapping. Now, let me tell you, I can't tell, but it looks like she's got a mask on. Her Christian faith is so strong that she has to wear a mask in public. And I'm not saying you can't wear a mask or there's not reasons to wear a mask. I'm telling you, you see where this is coming from. That Christian faith is like those fake churches in Fresno that have rainbow flags out there. That's their so-called Christian faith.
The least of these we do to Jesus. And that is what we been taught, and that is what the
So they got one guy to wear a MAGA hat. And again, I'm not gonna waste our time on listening to this, but it says the good people of Iowa, this is how it states, the good people in Iowa, some in MAGA hats, are not buying Chuck Grassley's nonsensical talking points about deporting migrants. And this is where we come to. We're going to have to talk a whole lot about the deportation thing and Democrats fighting for illegals over American citizens towards the end of the show. I just find this just absolutely laughable. You're wearing a MAGA hat. You voted for a man that went to the Republican convention and handed out signs, mass deportations now, and CNN, all these fake media sites. Oh my God, this is Hitler. This is Hitler. And you still voted for the man, just like I did. And now you have a problem that he's doing what he promised? Not buying it. I don't think the American people will buy it either. I don't think the American people will buy it either. Pull back up the comments. They went away for a second. But I just think it's funny. They're trying. They're going to keep trying. Check this out. Now, we're going to talk about this. Oh, I hope I brought that up. I might have forgot that one, but I will bring it up. Says David Hogg. David Hogg came out. It says, turns out when you actually fight for people, they want to support you. If we're going to raise the money needed to win back the House and state legislative chambers, we have to put a bigger fight. Listen to the people. Listen to these names. Chris Murphy, Jasmine for U.S., AOC, and Rep. Al Green. Chris Murphy is the one that goes out and lies to the American people constantly, is almost like the face of propaganda for the Democrat Party. You got ghetto Jasmine Crockett, who goes out there and says some of the outlandish, wildest things you could think of, and every other word is almost, that's my boo. Then you have AOC, who's just in Bakersfield. We're going to cover that in a minute. Who, again, the bartender from the Bronx, who's out there, I don't know why she's flying around. She said we only had 8 years left before climate change would destroy us. You get it. And Rep. Al Green. Rep. Al Green's the one, when Trump was giving his address 5-6 weeks ago, that stood up and had to be removed from that address. All extremist elements of the left. They're raising the most money. It pays to be an extremist on the left. And this was from, and he shared this right here. It says, AOC, Chris Murphy, Jasmine Crockett, and Al Green have each reported their best fundraising quarters so far today. So I'm starting to pick up on a faint pattern. We just told you the pattern. The extremist element of the left. They're not coming out with bills that a majority of Americans can say, hey, you know what? I can get behind this. They're not coming out and saying, well, there is some good parts, because, again, their attack is on billionaires. It used to be millionaires, but they're all millionaires now because they've been in Congress, they've been in the Senate. So you can't do that now. So it's all about billionaires. And then and we've seen this yesterday. I can't wait to talk about it. It's the extreme elements. The people that don't fit in any normal society, they need somewhere to go. We talked about the fad of the trans movement for a long time, like people that aren't trans, but they don't fit in anywhere. But this group accepts them. You're trans. You're with us. We're the, you got to feel sorry for us. And they're like, man, I don't fit in this group. I don't fit in this group. But this group is accepting. That's the groups they are aiming for. And believe it or not, there's a lot of people. We've seen them yesterday. And check this out. This was from yesterday. It says, today in Bakersfield, California, we filled, and there's your answer. There's your answer. A 4,000-seat theater. I thought it was 3,500 yesterday on the live stream. And spoke with another 1,500 people outside. And why? I can tell you there wasn't no 1,500 people outside. It's all on the video. But here nor there, I don't care if they had 20,000. It says, beyond elections, our task is to build community. Community is the most powerful building block we have to defeat authoritarianism and root out corruption. And let me show you some of her pictures from inside that 4,000 foot or 4,000 person capacity. You have that one there. You have this one here. This was outside. So I'm going to guess, just from my estimation, that's probably 350 people outside. Oh, I didn't put it on the screen. Duh. Let me go back. So you have this one inside. You got that one. This one out. This was the one outside. I don't see Taco Joe in there, but I know Taco Joe was screaming, "Can I have your autograph? Can I have your autograph?" I could hear him from where I is, guys. And that's not fake news, guys. I wouldn't tell you fake news. I wouldn't tell you fake news. I don't know. I know Joe was looking for an autograph. And so, again, we were at that event. We got there bright and early, really bright and early. And there was people out there. When I drove by in the morning, there was probably like a group of 45 people that were out there around 8:30 a.m. One thing that I did notice is I didn't go live at first. I went and got some video so I wouldn't have a camera and everything, because a lot of times when you go to these leftist events, they just, oh my gosh, they're a little nervous to be on camera. But these folks, I'm sitting there and I see one bus leave, and I was like, was that bus here? Oh man, I missed it. So I jogged down the street. Then here comes another bus. This is one that we recorded, put on X yesterday.
Folks off.
This is US
Bakersfield,
VIP bus.
California. Bernie Sanders and AOC right here. We got the bus dropping people off here. US VIP bus. So they're getting buses dropping these folks off.
So now the reason why I point this out, and they did it in Folsom too, is they're putting up these statistics. Oh, Bakersfield has this many people, and we had this many show up. In Folsom, I think I might have it up. But they think that 1/3 the population of Folsom came. Well, again, most of the people that came to this were out of towners, and not people. And I'm not suggesting these people were paid or anything. I am going to say that there was obviously people that are part of these NGOs, nonprofits, and organizations that get their people there, without a doubt. But I walked up to a guy. He literally had a sticker from the emergency room at St. Agnes Medical Center, which is about 2 miles from me, right here on Herndon. And I was like, "So you're from Fresno?" And he looked, if you guys are watching the live stream, he's just like, "Who are you?" And he goes, "Yeah, how'd you know that?" And I was like, "Well, you still got your sticker on from the hospital." And then there was some other people that threatened us at the end. You guys didn't get to see that part. You guys were in the car. I was getting in the car, and learned that they were from around about 20 minutes from where I live here. We'll get into more details on them later. But a lot of these people were coming from out of the area. Now, that's fine. That's fine. If Trump goes to LA, I'm driving to LA, right? But the difference is some of the people that went here, when we were out there and I just had my normal attire on, then I went and got the Trump cowboy hat, the Trump jersey, and I walked around. It was amazing. I was not being rude. I was not being impolite to anybody. Actually, I like to joke a lot with people. Whether you're on the left or the right, I'm going to have some fun on a stream. And it was just interesting. But in the line, you guys seen these two parents with a daughter. And I thought to myself, I was like, whoa, this is the family of woke. And so when we were doing the Palestinian protest, they came over and joined the Palestinian protest. And I just want to show you this, because again, when they're telling you that average Americans are going out to these rallies, I'm going to tell you a major majority of them are the woke clan. Look at this family right here. It's the dad, the mom, and the daughter. You can't make this stuff up. could you imagine what goes on in that household right there? Like, I'm telling you right now. And these are the people. These are the people that don't fit in to any party, essentially, but they need the AOC and Bernie Sanders rally. We talked to some gentlemen, that dude at the end that had the MAGA hat on, he just wanted to hear what they said, and he was like, it was wild. You can go back and watch and hear the interview. One guy wasn't on camera, but I said, what was it? And he was like, it was a whole lot of A, B, C, D, LGBT, QPS, not, just the whole alphabet. This is what they are trying to assemble. They want to take these groups. And when I say this, I'm not talking about your LGB groups, your old, lesbian, gay, bisexual groups that we all grew up with. Not at all. Not talking about those groups. I'm talking about when they added the T and they became this cult that wants to dominate your life and my life. And so again, this is what they're trying to do. And these are the people that are donating to them. They need this. Why do they need this? USAID funding canceled. All these NGO fundings, all these people that the money would flow to foreign countries and then flow back through other means back to the Democrat Party, their money laundering scheme. Trump's fighting that. Trump has ended a lot of that. We've covered it extensively with the NGOs for that were aiding and abetting the illegal invasion into this country. They weren't doing anything humanitarian. They were trying to destroy. They hate this country. They were trying to destroy it. They hate everything that American flag stands for. And I just found it just absolutely. Before I get into that one, let me pull up what AOC posted. Because again, and it's gonna, let's see. Let me see if it pulls up when I do this. Wow, it changed my. UP True Breed says, be blessed, Josh, brother. Thank you, UP True Breed. Thank you for your continued support, and thank you for helping us out. By the way, we are back to traveling again tomorrow, 4.5 hours away to Los Angeles for probably what's going to be an epic school board meeting tomorrow. And so we're going to bring it to you live. They want to protect children. They want to do this. And, we've had some of the best coverage of some of the school board meetings. So thank you, UP Tree Breed, for helping out. I appreciate you. Anybody that wants to help out and cover gas, food, and lodging for tomorrow, that's what we were going to talk about that in our next show. Please, we welcome you to help us out. Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App $Oreo Army, and givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. Or we have a Zelle link on our website. That website is theoreoexpress.com. There's a donate now button. We appreciate you. We couldn't have got to Bakersfield without you, and we're not going to get to LA tomorrow without you. So thank you. Let me do this. So AOC, where's the one that? So I wanted to show you some of these. Says today in Bakersfield, California, we filled a 4,000-seat theater and spoke with another 1,500 people outside. This one here, I thought it was funny. This is good. Bernie and AOC are going straight into Republican territory. Not a single seat is empty to see Bernie and AOC in Bakersfield, the home of Kevin McCarthy. Now, I just want you guys to understand something here. Jay keeps asking, looking forward to LA school board trip. Thank you, Jay keeps asking. Appreciate you. They're trying to act like this group of, I'm going to use their numbers, not 5,500, their group of 5,500, that they are representative of that district. Now they were doing a lot, and like I told you, they had a van outside, they had banners outside going after a Republican, David Valadao. I don't think you've heard me say anything positive about David Valadao since I don't know, 2023. He is not a America First. He is an elected person down a little south. He's not my guy. But they were really attacking him, and this is what they want to do. So they do want to fire up people locally. However, when I'm going to say 50% of these people came from out of town, some were bussed in, all these other things. It's a little bit of a stretch to say that this is the home of Kevin McCarthy when people drove from LA, buses came from LA. But watch this. I got to find this. I thought I put it in a bookmark. I think AOC shared it. Hold on. Because it has to do with the funds. How come it didn't? There we go. She shared this yesterday, I think 6 hours before the event. And she keeps saying, this isn't Trump country. You know how we call red areas Trump country? She said, this isn't Trump country. This is our country. Let's see. I'm looking for it. I hope I can find it. And they're still talking about the 34 felony counts on Trump. We elected him. Okay, here it is. And I read this to you on the ride, but I didn't have any visual for you. It says, I cannot convey enough how grateful I am to the millions of people supporting us with your time, resources, and energy. Doesn't say nothing about finances, right? Right there. I guess you could say resources, but no. Your support has allowed us to rally people together at record scale to organize their communities, all with an average donation of $21. And so what they're talking about is this right here. News. AOC had her strongest ever quarter, raising over $9.5 million from 266,000 individual donors for an average of just $21. Now, I just want to say this. Now, these people are extremely pro-union, so yeah, the unions will support them. But $9.5 million, and they're talking about these rich people. And $9.5 million, if you add that up in 4 quarters, that's $40 million. How many people could that feed? I'm just being the hypocrite of this, right? Well, you add Chris Matthews, Jasmine Crockett. These are the people that wants to get money out of elections. And I get it. If you're running an election, take everything you can. If you want to win, you got to win. I don't agree with it, but you got to do it. And I just think it's just hilarious. And again, a lot of this is being investigated right now because there, as we know, Act Blue has been, I guess you could say, uncovered. We've uncovered a lot with Act Blue, where people that say they've donated 5 or 6 times in a year go knock on their door and I've never donated to that. I don't have that kind of money. And now, hopefully, with Trump in office, we're getting some of those investigations going. But you know what was just extremely crazy is there was a groomer alert in Bakersfield yesterday. I don't know if you guys seen it. We've seen this. We've seen this on the polls all around the event. And it was groomer alert. It says, Scott Hostetter, keep an eye on your children. Scott has been seen in the area recently. He drives a graffitied motorhome and has an ankle monitor. Sounds like a pretty bad dude. I heard even yesterday that his sister doesn't even allow him around his niece because of his tendencies. So that was, Jalen says it's all over YouTube and X. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know how that happened. But, praying this guy gets help. I heard there's couple felonies or something that might get him some rehabilitation in the clink where he could be groomed a little. Oh man, let's move on. Breaking news. Gavin Newsom is suing the Trump administration over tariffs. He claims the tariffs are unlawful and are wreaking chaos. Newsom just asked for $2.8 billion Again, we've been covering our scandal over giving illegal aliens, which cost us $9.6 billion last fiscal year. And now our Medicaid, Medi-Cal in California is going bankrupt. Check this out.
The globe. No state will be impacted
cocaine
more than
sound.
the state of California. Today, I announced a lawsuit on behalf of the state of California suing the Trump administration. California is the largest manufacturing state in our union, one of the largest trading partners around the globe. No state will be impacted more than the state of California as it relates to the unilateral authority that's being asserted by the Trump administration to impose the largest tax increase in modern American history.
All lies. All lies. But again, this person, when we've had illegals flowing into the, I don't know, I'm going to say a conservative estimate is we've probably got about 6 to 8 million illegals here in California. And I'm probably way low on this. You got to think 15 to 20 million came in over the last 4 years. We had 20 million easily before that. Then the gotaways, people we don't even know about. But
today,
again, he's doing the same things Colorado's doing. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Colorado, but I will cover it in the next show. They're looking at all their numbers. Colorado's been under Democrat control for how long? And now they're saying, oh, well, this, and this is because of Trump's tariffs. Those numbers were the same last year under Joe Biden. But now they're trying to deflect. That's what Gavin Newsom is doing. Listen to this. I think it's the next one I got up here. And we're going to cover this till we're blue in the face. I promise you. Because
California is poised to be, if this proposal is supported, the first state in the country to achieve universal access to health coverage. So what does that mean? It means full scope Medi-Cal, including long-term care, IHSS, behavioral health to all low-income Californians, regardless of immigration status, regardless of their age, regardless of
immigration status. So that's what I found amazing. If you guys remember in the videos on X, when we were in San Antonio, Texas, at the Catholic Charities NGO, you literally had Obamacare workers that said Obamacare. We got the video. We were live. And these people literally broke into the United States the day before, were processed by the Uber Patrol. That's what they were under Joe Biden. And dropped off at this Catholic Charities where they, again, use your tax dollars to facilitate their move, their housing, everything they need, make sure they have food, everything, while American citizens and veterans suffered. And they were signing them up for healthcare right then and there. They had a paper. There, this is this, this is this. And they all have phones, so there's a phone number, because these people aren't like broke people that couldn't survive in their country like the Democrats want you to think. No, some of them had multiple phones. And here we have Gavin Newsom that says the California blueprint. Well, that California blueprint cost us last fiscal year $9.6 billion with a B dollars. So what's Gavin Newsom doing now? We talked about it 6 weeks ago. He needed $3.44 billion. Why? Because Medi-Cal, which is the name for Medicaid in the state of California, said we are in urgent need of funds. There is bills that we can't pay if we don't get money. Well, $3.44 billion. Then he asked for another $6 billion. Well, what's he doing now?
Newsom says the state short on funds for its Medicaid program known as Medi-Cal. The state expanded the program to cover undocumented immigrants. The governor asked lawmakers to approve another $2.8 billion in loans on top of a $3.4 billion loan issued last week. So California now making up a $6.2 billion shortfall in Medi-Cal funds. The money meant to keep the program properly funded through June.
The realities are the realities. You have to balance budgets. We balance our budget. Revenue is holding up. I don't see anything significant along the lines of what some have asserted. But I do see the need to make adjustments and changes.
Oh, there he goes. He's doing the bob and weave, guys. He's doing the bob and weave. Whenever he gets, you can always tell when he's caught in something and he's lying, he's bobbing and weaving, and that's what he's doing right now.
In the Medicaid system.
Gavin Newsom says.
So again, so if you take what we just spent on illegal aliens, criminal illegal aliens in the state of California last year, we would actually have over a $3 billion surplus here in the state of California. We would have money for the American citizens who actually need and rely on our taxpayer funded stuff, which if you do it, well, if you do it to the extent where it's people that are needing it, we could save a lot of money. But instead, people that just decide not to work, people that just decide to have families of 5 and sit on their couch all day while eating bonbons and collecting EBT and all this. I'm sorry. We got to get off this welfare system that Democrats love so much. And every time you say, hey, people can work, oh my God, they're killing the babies. They don't want a mother to be able to do this. It's just absolutely insane. Let me see something really quick. Uh-oh, it's that coffee time again, guys. Give me 1 second here. Weak coffee is for the weak, and at Rumble, weak has never been part of the mission. No fillers, no fraud, and no settling for mediocrity. Just like 1775 coffee. It's single origin, small farm, hand-picked, specialty grade coffee that stands for quality, free speech, and calling out BS when it matters. Forget stale, mass-produced beans roasted just enough to hide the flaws. Dark roast hits like a Trump tariff. Medium roast keeps it bold without the bitterness. And Vitality Mushroom Blend, real energy and lasting focus, no synthetic garbage. For K-Cup pods, whole beans, or fresh ground coffees, go to 1775coffee.com. Use code STUDIO for 15% off and start your morning with coffee that stands for something. Oh, and every dollar spent enters you to win a Cybertruck and $30,000 cash, guys. So go check that out. Scan the QR code. Check out 1775coffee.com and use code STUDIO for 15% off. Let's see what else we got coming up. Listen to this. We also, so two of the biggest things that being a Californian and seeing the two biggest wastes that we have, one of them is with our medical system, with Medi-Cal, which is Medicaid, giving $9.6 billion of our taxpayer monies to people that haven't put a dime into this country, that came over into the country illegally, that are violating our laws right now. And we covered this for years. The homeless boondoggle. The unlimited amounts of billions of dollars spent on homeless to not fix any problem. I'm noticing that in California, it cleaned up for a little while. Like we have a mayor called Pride Flag Dyer, who again is all about optics. So what do he do? Him and the city, he decided the city's going to buy all these dilapidated hotels. We're going to spend a whole lot of money to get them fixed. And then we're going to put homeless people in them, and many of them, and not all these homeless people are doing this. Some people, we need to be able to distinctly decide between the two. Make a decision. Okay, this person's out prostituting, doing drugs. They're drug dealers using their hotel. Okay, I'm sorry, you're out of our system. If you want help, we can do a rehab program, but we're not going to facilitate that. But a lot of things that go on in Dyer's hotels is the drug dealing. Instead of making them do it on the streets, now they're doing it inside of a hotel. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Same thing with the cleanup on the side of the freeways. We had all the tents like the rest of California, and we're gonna clean up the sides of the freeways. Go down Belmont. I was in Tower District yesterday. Tower District was as bad as I've seen it in a very long time. I mean, I'm talking 34 people up against this wall over here, people over here. Again, dude, just sitting on the side of the road on Palm with a blowtorch. I'm sure he's just practicing his welding gig, right, guys? No. Well, California is the same way. California has spent billions. When asked where the money goes, when asked how many people that these billions of dollars have helped, Don't know. Well, let's do an audit. Gavin Newsom, veto the audit. No accountability for Democrats. Take a look at this.
She doesn't want the investigation to be,
This
quote,
is LA
a fishing
specifically.
expedition. Republican, MAGA-aligned United States attorney here in Los Angeles, Bill Asaley, he just launched a federal probe investigating exactly where California's homeless dollars are going. The FBI and IRS are going to assist. Asaley estimates $24 billion in homeless funding statewide over the past 5 years, much of that spent here in Southern California.
We will get to the bottom of it, and if we find that any federal laws are violated, we will arrest and prosecute those individuals involved.
Governor Gavin Newsom and the chair of the LA County Supervisors tell Fox they welcome Asaley's investigation. However, LA Mayor Karen Bass, who says homeless numbers dropped by 10% last year, she says she doesn't want the investigation to be, quote, a fishing expedition.
Fishing for criminals. Just like ISIS hunting for illegals right now. Did you know they're hunting for illegals? Guys, I don't know. Again, I am praying that there is justice to be served. These people, where that money went was to all these homeless advocacy groups. These people that they don't have regular jobs. They're paid for by you, the taxpayer. We have some in Fresno that their job for a long time was just to harass Fresno PD. Because Fresno PD was cleaning up the streets. You have to have homeless task force on every police department that actually takes away from service calls to you. This is just insane. This is just insane. Most of these people are alcoholic, drug addicts, and mental health conditions. By just spending money and giving it to NGOs who don't care if the people are homeless. Could you imagine giving somebody money and then them paying themselves they got a nice car, nice all this, and saying, we want you to work yourself out of a job. Okay. So you mean the funds, these grants, the $2.5 million, we're not going to get that anymore? We're going to keep the homeless on the streets. We're going to move them around. And you know what? After what I seen yesterday, I might grab some video. This week we're busy. Again, we're going to be heading to LA tomorrow. Friday, coming back down this way, picking up Roberto, then heading back out. Can't tell you where we're going to be Saturday, but I'll tell you we've been there recently, and it was pretty epic, so you guys don't want to miss it. This is what's going on, guys. This is what's going on right here. How about this one? Shocking new report on homelessness and fighting fires in Los Angeles. Listen to this. We just had a major failure. And I'm not blaming the firefighters. I'm blaming Democrats and their policies, because the firefighters go to a damn fire hydrant. They just want to, they're going to put their lives on the lines to put out a fire. But when you have reservoirs empty, when you have no water coming from the fire hydrants, hard to fight a fire, right? Listen to the difference in the budget.
Now, Mayor Karen Bass is expected to release a proposed. According to this LAFD memo, the city allocated about $961 million to homelessness in the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Now, that is much greater than the entire LAFD budget of $837 million. The union president for the firefighters calls this shocking.
We don't want to criminalize homelessness, but we need additional resources strictly for homelessness.
Union President Freddie Escobar says the Los Angeles Fire Department remains understaffed and under-resourced. On the LAFD Commission agenda today was discussing this memo that says 32.91%, so nearly a third of all fires the department responded to in the last 6 years involved a member of the homeless community.
Global warming right there. This is all blamed on global warming. This is because the environment's changing. A third of all fires. Think about that for a second. And then we're going to talk budgetary issues.
Instead of discussing the memo, the board tabled it for next month. But Escobar still wants to talk about it now.
I don't know what the fix is, but I can tell you the members that I represent cannot sustain the call load of what we're doing for homelessness.
and a higher call load can be blamed on more rubbish fires. According to the memo, in the last 10 years, the number of rubbish fires surged a whopping 475%.
475%. That requires a taxpayer-funded. Again, the fire department and the police sometimes arrive on these. Those are taxpayer funds going for this, something that's completely preventable. Again, when you allow, I actually said this on the phone today with Fresno, when you allow a child to continue getting away with things and you don't discipline them at that point early on, we have this discussion with Caden. Like, hey, I notice he's been doing, me and Rachel have this discussion. Let's nip it in the bud now. He's cute and it's kind of cute, but it won't be great if it develops even further, right? So that's what you do. What we've done is we've made these homeless people instead of criminals, because a lot of the things and the elements they do are criminal. When they're shooting up on the side of the road, when they're stealing. I noticed old Uncle Bill talked about copper wire. Oh, old Uncle Bill, let me tell you. It's been going on for a long time. Solar plants can't operate because people are stealing copper wire. When you go to the industrial areas of Fresno, they'll steal anything when they're tweaking. Stuff they can't recycle, thinking it's copper. And it just destroys and costs business owners tens of thousands of dollars. We just had the Board of Supervisors, and I'm not going to get into detail, but try to pass something to prevent this here in the county of Fresno. 475%, guys.
Department data shows nearly half of rubbish fires involve a person experiencing homelessness. The union says all those extra calls drive up response times when resources are already lacking. In 1960, LAFD had 112 fire stations. Today, it has 106, despite a surge in population in both the housed and the unhoused. This is what Battalion Chief Eric Roberts told us earlier this year.
Also true to say that our staffing levels are nearly identical, certainly to the 90s.
Now, Mayor Karen Bass is expected to release a proposed budget next week, so we'll see how these numbers might be changing. And the mayor's office told us today this
total funds, check this out though. Total funds for homelessness, $961 million, about $837 million for the Los Angeles Fire Department. Now, the fire department, it's critical. You have to have a fire department. This is insane. And again, why is Mayor Karen Bass still there after the multitude of fraud and screw ups? I almost had to give Pixie $5 there when I said screw ups. It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. And now she has another budget. I can't wait to see it again. But you go to some areas, I'm just going to tell you, I live in Clovis. Total different picture from Fresno. Guess what we don't allow? Homelessness. You're not going to camp out on our sidewalks. You're not going to camp out in front of businesses. I see it once in a while you get some that come over from Fresno and think they're just going to camp behind a building, and then you get 1, 2, there's 3, and the next day they're gone. They tried to set up right down the street off the 168 freeway over here. They go behind an apartment complex pretty far off the road. You can see it from a distance because they put big blue tarps up and make it look like trash. And a couple days later, driving by, there's Clovis PD with their pickup truck full of junk. And again, I want to come to a solution to help these people. And you know, the old saying, you got to hit rock bottom first. Well, rock bottom is different for many people. And a lot of these people, because they're drug addicts, alcoholics, or have a mental health condition, they're getting checks from the state. So they can just camp out and drink. They don't have to go to work. And nobody is dealing with that underlying issue. And the way we do deal with it isn't the correct way when we say California's dealing with it. I hope that, I don't think there's going to be a bipartisan effort that'll ever help solve this. And the only reason why I'm saying is because Democrats have always been behind handing out needles, encouraging the behavior, enabling the behavior and trying to decriminalize the illegal drugs they use. You know, just think for a second. And again, I'm not about pushing around money. Again, we got to come to a point where we're not spending money. But let's take $9.6 billion that Gavin Newsom spent on illegal aliens. And think about how many treatment care facilities. And when I say that, I know you're thinking the government do a treatment care facility. I know it would be, you would walk in there and everybody, the people that would be employed there were the same people we seen at the Bernie Sanders rally yesterday. Woke, same Democrat things. But imagine what that could do to a proven treatment facility where, hey, whether it's a 30 or 90-day housing program that helps them deal with the problems. A lot of these people have underlying mental health conditions, is why they don't care if they're out on the streets. That's not rock bottom because they're getting what they need. Back in the day, we used to jail these people. It is against the law. It used to be against the law to drink in public here. Now, don't even do anything. Used to be against the law to have drugs on you and shoot up on Palm Avenue. They don't go out to those calls anymore. And, this is a major step in our children's future, the future of, if you ever have grandchildren, and something has to be done. Because I promise you, Gavin Newsom wants California to be the blueprint for the United States, and it has been. Whatever cancer forms here spreads. We were just in Denver not too long ago. Denver has went downhill tremendously from when I went there 20 years ago. I mean, we literally sat on this, we live streamed it for you. We had the camera in the car and we just parked there and we watched people shooting up. We watched a dude the skateboard picture. People thought that was fake. I don't know if Chad's in here right now, but Chad goes, when I met Chad in San Diego, he goes, man, was that a real picture? And I pulled up the video. Here it is. That's taken from my phone. And a dude literally in a pretzel position on his skateboard upside down. And what do Democrats want to do? Well, does he need a clean needle? It's not the answer. That's not loving thy neighbor. And again, I don't know what it's going to take. I wish, and they won't listen to people like me. That's why I use my voice on here. I wish the county or somebody would say, hey, Josh, you're sick of it. We're going to do a little panel and a board, and we want to come up with some ideas and brainstorm. Because you know who a lot of times the people they put on these things, whether they're Republican or Democrat, they're not out on the street seeing this all the time. And then the leftists, what do they want? Again, well, they should be able to camp there. That's their rights. This is stolen land. It's insane. Well, we got some other breaking news. Nobody is above the law. Who have I heard say that? Oh, I know it was Letizia James. Letizia James says Letizia James is facing not one, but two massive career-ending criminal accusations. It says falsely claiming a Virginia home as a primary residence, mortgage fraud. Remember when, wasn't it her that said Trump lied on some applications? Living there while serving as New York AG. That's election fraud and disqualifies her from serving as Attorney General. Now, if this is correct, I'm not saying it's correct. I'm not in their system. I'm not looking at the paperwork. I see what's filed. If this is correct and we truly had law and order, this person would resign or be ousted, right? Take a look at this here.
New York. This was an out-of-state residence, but also they claim.
Let me see if this pops in before I have to reboot. Yeah, let me refresh. Man, there was a lot of stuff to cover. That's why even the next show is going to be pretty epic.
is this was not her principal residence. In fact, as a New York elected official, she had to say that her principal residence was in New York. This was an out-of-state residence. But also, they claim that in some of these forms, she actually states that her father is her husband in order to file as a married couple. So there's a lot of those questions. And as you know, the Supreme Court just stated earlier in March in a case called Thompson that they want to see knowing false statements under sections like 1014, not just misleading statements. These are misleading statements. Either it's your principal residence or it's not.
Or it's not.
Either you're married to your father or he's your father.
So Letizia James pulling an Ian Omar by marrying a family member, at least on paper, right? Ian Omar did it to get her brother into the United States. Looks like Letizia said that she was married to her father on paperwork. This sounds a little bit something like what she was trying to prosecute Trump for, right? Am I wrong? I'm hoping this one goes somewhere. Check this out. I think it's this one. How many remember this? Oh, you're going to love it. This was Letizia James. Roses are red, violets are blue. No one's above the law, even when you think the rules don't apply to you. Happy Valentine's Day. That was February 14, 2024, a little over a year ago, guys. Again, Democrats have been acting as if there has been, and in regards, kind of like the child. You let the child continue doing bad things, they never think they're going to be punished for anything. Democrats have gotten away with things like this for years. They went after Trump. They were going to ensure that he wasn't our president. Well, I hate to break this to you, but Trump is your president. And so this is going to be really interesting on where this goes. Let me pull this next slide up here. This is from the Trump War Room. It says U.S. Federal Housing Finance Agency Director Pulte has referred New York Attorney General Letizia James to the DOJ after alleged mortgage fraud. And this is the criminal referral right here. It says, pursuant to my authority as director of the U.S. Federal Housing Finance Agency, I am referring the matter below as a regulator of Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and the federal home loan banks. We take very seriously allegations of mortgage fraud and other criminal activity. Such misconduct jeopardizes the safety and soundness of FHFA's regulated entities and the security and stability of the U.S. mortgage market. And so down here it says background. On August 17, 2023, Miss James granted Miss Shamise Thompson Hairston power of attorney to make Virginia property her principal residence. See Exhibit A. And on August 30th and 31st, 2023, through her attorney, Miss James purchased this property in Norfolk, Virginia. In a Fannie Mae Freddie Mac form 3047 and in mortgage documents, she reaffirmed this would be her primary residence despite holding statewide public office in New York at the same time. Let me see the other one. Let's see. And there it is right here. And then it says at January 6th, it goes into all this stuff. So you lied on a home loan. Are we going to see justice? Are we going to see justice? I hope we see justice because we need justice. Really quick, guys, let me do this. We all know, and you can join Rumble Premium from our page there. It helps us out. It says this sponsorship is from Rumble. One that is incredibly important to the survival of the company. When Rumble first started in 2013, they built the platform for the small creator. They didn't censor or have biases. They were fair and treated all creators equally. No one thought platforms would censor political conversation or censor opinions on COVID, but they did. Facebook admitted they felt the pressure from the Biden-Harris administration. Rumble did not. They held the line. They are attacked daily for giving us a voice to talk to you. They are attacked in corporate media. They are attacked by governments like France. They are attacked from brand advertisers who refuse to work with them. Corporate America is fighting to remove speech. Rumble is fighting to keep it. Rumble won't survive with brand advertisers. They don't get much. Watching our show on Rumble is the most they can ask from you. But if you really believe in this fight, and if you have the means, one major way you can help Rumble survive is by joining Rumble Premium. Join the community that believes in the First Amendment and believes in our human right to free speech. Rumble is offering $10 off with the promo code STUDIO when you purchase an annual subscription. Go to rumble.com/premium and use promo code STUDIO. Like I said, if you have the means and believe in the cause, now is the time to join Rumble Premium. If you don't have the means, we're just happy to have you watch us on Rumble. Again, guys, we're going to be doing Rumble-only streams. I'm actually behind on that in order to keep the Rumble creator. I have to do that, so we're going to be doing that over the next, probably when we get back in town. So again, it's something that hopefully will bring us a little bit more revenue for our travels. Again, we are 100% viewer sponsored. But if you want to go check out and go to Rumble Premium, you can go actually join up on our Rumble page, So we want to thank you for all that. We want to thank you for your support. I just got a message. Where did I put the phone? From Karen. It looks like Venmo gave me a notification that Karen helped out. It says expenses for the trip. Thank you. Thank you, Karen. Thank you for your support. We can't do it without you guys. Again, we will be traveling tomorrow. It'll be a couple tanks of gas, 2 tanks of gas, food, and lodging. We're going to be at a school board meeting. If you guys want to help out, the only way we can continue to survive is by viewer support. Head over to Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army, or givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. We also have a Zelle link on our website. Head over to our website, theoreoexpress.com. There's a donate now button with the Zelle link, all the links, and we appreciate you. Can't do it without you guys. So thank you for the blessing. Thank you for keeping, I think you see a little something different when we're out there than you see on the news, right? And that's why we do it. So we want to thank you. What do we got now? So now we have Democrats. You can't make this up. The talking point, as we've went through the talking point, remember, oh my God, they're going to cut your social. No, before that, it was these people are accessing, Doge is accessing your private data. We can't allow that. That's kind of went to the wayside. People are like, what private data? It's all government. Government has my data. My data comes from the government. These people are working inside the government. Didn't work out. We had numerous different things. It was Social Security. They're going to cut your Social Security. You're not going to be able to have Social Security. They're going to take your Social Security money and they're going to give it to billionaires. Then it became, well, it's going to be a little different. They're just going to make it hard for you to access your Social Security money. Oh, okay. Well, that changed. Then Medicaid. They're going to cut off the health care. And then they'll put a picture of some, child that's in a wheelchair that has a feeding tube and said they want to end this person's health care. Not true. Not true at all. Waste, abuse, and fraud. All these people that spend their days doing nothing while you're working, that are capable of working, do not need to get any government. I don't care if it's food or anything. You don't work, you don't eat. And now their big thing, and it's always been one of their big things, is protecting illegal aliens. You can't make this up. Listen, so we deported somebody who was an illegal alien. Reports said he's tied to gangs that we have labeled foreign terrorist organizations. He was from El Salvador. We sent him back to El Salvador. The media and Democrats are losing their mind. And I want to show you the senator.
Yesterday in the Oval Office,
watch this.
Administration officials made it very clear that El Salvador is responsible for. El Salvador's president said we're not going to do anything with him. So my question is, who is responsible for this man and where he's going to end up?
Well, no.
first of all, President Bukele said that he is not going to smuggle a foreign terrorist back into the United States of America, as many in this room in the Democrat Party seemingly want him to do. Abrego Garcia was a foreign terrorist. He is an MS-13 gang member. He was engaged in human trafficking. He illegally came into our country. And so deporting him back to El Salvador was always going to be the end result. There is never going to be a world in which this is an individual who's going to live a peaceful life in Maryland, because he is a foreign terrorist and an MS-13 gang member. Not only have we confirmed that, President Bukele yesterday in the Oval Office confirmed that as well. So he went back to his home country, where he will face consequences for his gang affiliation and his engagement in human trafficking. I'm not sure what is so difficult about this for everyone in the media to understand. And it's appalling, truly appalling, that there has been so much time covering this alleged human trafficker and this gang member, MS-13 gang member. It's truly striking to me.
Truly striking. Old Uncle Bill gifted a subscription to Oreo Express. Thank you, Old Uncle Bill. Thank you for supporting us. And then let's see. Did we have somebody else do that earlier? Let's see. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and look. The last one I show is Jay Keeps Asking. So again, guys, Democrats care less about the American citizen, care less about the Rachel Morans of the world. And just to give you some proof of that, I seen this yesterday. It said, just in, Senator Cory Booker, you know, he's the holy grail of the Democrat Party for standing there for 24 hours and talking a lot of hot air. It says, looks to lead a trip to El Salvador to push for the release and the return of Kilmar Garcia. That was from Axios. Literally, Democrats want to go, and we got more on this. There's actually one there right now. Democrats want to go to El Salvador, where a El Salvadorian citizen is there and locked up, and they want to bring him into the United States. Check this out. This is insane.
Representatives of the government, I hope to have the chance to. I'm here at the airport. I'm about to board my flight for San Salvador. The goal of this mission is to let the Trump administration, to let the government of El Salvador know that we are going to keep bring Abrego Garcia home until he returns to his family. I hope to meet with representatives of the government. I hope to have the chance to actually see Kilmar and see what his condition is, but we are going to keep fighting.
So he wants to see somebody that was an illegal alien with a deportation order. And we're going to get further in this. His wife had to file a protection order against him 4 years ago. And sounds like George Floyd all over again, right? Oh my gosh, this person's a king. Let's build a gold statue for this person. And as you can see, he's got his lapel. This is all, again, propaganda to try to make the Trump administration look bad. They have nothing else. They have no solutions. They haven't talked about, Democrats haven't came out and said, okay, there is probably 20 million, 15 to 20 million that was illegally crossed into our country under the Biden administration. Maybe we can fast process their deportations, but let's worry about DACA people. They don't care about DACA people. They never cared about DACA people.
Because this is a miscarriage of justice. The Supreme Court has ruled 9-0, that he was illegally taken out of the country and put in a prison in El Salvador. And this is about due process. This is about rule of law. What bullies do is they begin by picking on the most vulnerable. But if we get rid of the rule of law and due process in the United States, it's a short road from there to tyranny.
So you would think, man, this guy is Senator Chris Van Hollen. You'd think, man, this guy really cares about people. He is going out of his way for somebody who had a deportation order, again, criminal terrorist organization. And then when you start going through it and you start looking at this, He was the senator where Rachel Morin was murdered by an illegal alien that traitor Mayorkas and Joe Biden led into this country. Take a look at this. It says Chris has posted at least 10 times about saving an illegal alien gang member. Number of times Chris had posted about Rachel Morin? Settle, just in case. Settle. Take a look at this. Look at this. Yesterday, the Trump administration admitted they deported a Maryland dad. Remember, they had to use the term Maryland dad. Maryland dad. To El Salvador due to an administration order. Then again, that was 4-1. On 4-4, he tweeted again. 6 days ago, 4 hours ago, 4-4. 4 days ago. I mean, this guy 14 hours ago, 1 day ago. He said yesterday, I've been clear, if President Bukele doesn't want to meet here in D.C., then I intend to go to El Salvador this week to check on Kilmar Abrego Garcia's condition and discuss his release. How many times do you think this senator that's so caring and just loves people so much, how many times do you think he's met with any angel mom or any angel family? Now, let's see if you go to his same thing and just type in, let's see if he's talked about Rachel Morin. There's no results from Chris Van Hollen regarding Rachel Morin. You were the senator represented Rachel Morin. She was murdered. So again, more proof, right? You won't see this kind of stuff on your ABC Nightly News. They want to stay away from that. Listen to Rachel Morin's mom on Hannity.
No, actually, I'm very angry.
What are your thoughts on your senator going to bat for this illegal, but did he ever say anything to you and your family about your loss, to ever call you, ever take the time to be with you?
No, actually, I'm very angry. I'm actually outraged, but I'm too sad at the moment to show anger at the same time. He did not call our family. He did not give condolences. There was no action on the Democratic Party in any way, from Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Mayorkas, anyone here in Maryland, none of the senators did anything to help search for the murderer of my daughter.
What are your thoughts on?
Man, I wonder why. Is it all political? Does he not really give a care about anybody, but just doing what his what the folks are telling him to do? When I say folks, those TDS folks, those people that are losing power and control and will continue to lose power and control as long as they put illegals ahead of American citizens. This is disgusting. How could he even be a representative of the United States? That's where we need change. This is horrible. And then he's in El Salvador now. This is a video, again, with his little lapel mic with the green. It's on. It's on, Chris. You can start talking. Let's start hearing your propaganda. Let's listen to his propaganda, will we?
I just landed at the airport in San Salvador a little while ago. I'm now en route into the city, looking forward to meeting with the team from the American Embassy. And I do want to thank our Foreign Service officers and the whole team at this embassy and embassies around the world for all the good work they do on behalf of our country. I'm proud to co-chair the bipartisan Foreign Service Caucus that stands up for the men and women who are serving our country overseas and at home in the State Department. After that, I hope to meet with some high-level government officials from El Salvador. As I've said before, the goal of my visit is to talk to people here about the release of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. I told his wife and his family I would do everything possible to bring him home, and we're going to keep working at this until we're successful. I also hope to have the chance to meet with him, but we'll have a better idea if that works out a little later on.
Wow. I mean, we asked you, okay, we said on election night, we covered the election and we said, okay, are Democrats going to look at this loss, 7 swing states, the popular vote, and say, maybe we're out of touch with the American people. Maybe just a little. Maybe we just moved the needle just a little. When we were like, what are they going to do? And instantly they started doubling down. There was some back and forth. Well, we didn't talk about the facts. When Trump did that, you had Democrats saying when Trump did that ad that said, Trump is for you, Kamala is for they, them, everybody knew what that meant. And it was a hard-hitting ad. And they were saying, maybe we should tone it down. They didn't tone it down. They have doubled down, tripled down. I mean, literally, I can't even explain how sad this is. Speaking of some case information, this was the Upper Marlboro Court, a domestic violence case against Kilmar. And I'm just going to show you this, and I'll get to the next tab. But this was file date was 5/5/21. So it's 2020. So almost 4 years ago. The petitioner was supposedly his wife, Jennifer Vasquez. And then we got this over here. I mean, whenever they say that's just an honorable dad that did all that. And I'm not saying he was guilty of that. I'm just trying to show you again, if that was me, that when Democrats come after me, they use everything, fake reports, fake news, fake this, to try to make me look bad, to try to silence me. And how well has that worked, folks? Thanks to you and our viewer funding, we're still here. And we will be here, and we will keep fighting as long as we can. This was from Mr. Andy No. It says the wife of the deported suspected gang terrorist Kilmar Garcia either lied to court when she petitioned for a domestic violence protective order against him, or she is lying now on GoFundMe, claiming he is an excellent husband. It already has $162,000. And he brings up the same forms there. And then this one here is Kilmar is an excellent father. He has always been there for our 3 children and all of their needs. 2 of them are on autism spectrum, ages 5 and 9. And our 3rd has epilepsy. Kilmar has been the main provider of our household and the love of my life for over 7 years. Since our family has been separated, I have been devastated and confused. I lost my life partner. My children lost their father. And all of our family, neighbors, coworkers, and friends have been devastated due to this unjust family separation. Now, unfortunately, there's nothing unjust. You've had multiple agencies. You've had the president. We have immigration laws here. You can't come into this country illegally. You can't live in this country illegally. Just the way it works. Just because Biden allowed it doesn't mean that was the rule. And so there's nothing unjust about saying, hey, you got to go home. And there's even programs right now. There's another program going to be coming out shortly about helping people self-deport. They've even created an app. You know that old saying, there's an app for that? CBP Home app. You can deport yourself. You don't have to worry about separation. You can take your family with you. It might sound a little heartless, but again, this is due to Democrats. There was an opportunity back in the last Trump administration to provide for DACA a path to legalize citizenship and for a little money for a border wall, like maybe 5% of what they've given to Ukraine to protect our borders, to protect our country. Check this out. Rep. Riley M. Moore, Republican, said, I just toured the Seacot prison in El Salvador. The maximum security facility houses the country's most brutal criminals, including murders, rapists, pedophiles, and terrorists. Several inmates were extremely violent criminals recently deported from the U.S. I leave now even more determined to support President Trump's effort to secure our homeland. These are the people that were flowing through our borders. When Mayorkas and Biden and all the Democrats said, we have no problem at the southern border. The border's closed. Those 10,000 people, don't look there. I just love this one because I just want to reiterate, this is where the Democrat Party is. They are struggling. They are scratching. They are clawing. take a listen to the Dollar Store Obama on Jen Psaki's MSNBC program.
It can happen anywhere. And
power for people who are watching at home, what power do you have and other Democratic members to compel, push the government to bring him home?
well, we have the power to shape public sentiment, and at the end of the day, making sure that public sentiment in this case understands that the treatment of Mr. Abrego Garcia, is unconscionable, unacceptable, and un-American. And if it can happen here, it can happen anywhere. And it's going to be incredibly important for every member of Congress. Certainly, we plan to do this on the Democratic side, both in the House and in the Senate, to intensify the pressure on the Trump administration to comply with the Supreme Court's directive, and the Supreme Court and or the federal district court actually needs to enforce its order.
So he literally said, well, we have the power to shape public sentiment. That's what they're trying to do. That's why you have Democrats flying over to that prison. That's why you have them. That's what they want to do. This is what they've tried to do in everything. And in some things, it's worked, folks. In some things, it's worked. Back in his first election, first term, that's what they did. Oh, he colluded with Russia. Well, we have the power to shape public sentiment. They lied to you. They're the ones that, that the FBI files came out last week. We haven't even covered those, about literally our FBI paying for some of that collusion on Donald Trump. And we need accountability. But they've got nothing, guys. They've got nothing. They can scream. They can scream. Check this out. Tom Homan. You got to love border czar Tom Homan.
As the senator said that he was abducted. As the former leader of ICE, what do you say to him?
He wasn't abducted. He's an MS-13 gang member, classified as a terrorist that was removed from this country. So we got rid of a dangerous person, an El Salvadoran national, was returned to the country of El Salvador, so he's home. We removed him from the United States. He's a public safety threat. That's exactly what should have happened. And I'm just disgusted that any congressional representative is going to run to El Salvador his aid. When yesterday, I read in his state, an illegal alien charged with murder was released back into the community, and not the ICE detainer wasn't honored, and ICE had to go find him in his state. In his state, the murder of Rachel Murrin yesterday. Listen to the testimony and listen to the mother on Handy last night. If you're not human, then your heart wasn't broken. It's just in his state. But rather than taking care of the constituents in his state, the victims of illegal crime in his state, he's going to run to El Salvador to protect an MS-13 terrorist.
As we said, they're not doubling down, folks. They're tripling down. So we'll probably get more of this in the next show because, again, we've been live for an hour, 38 minutes. But this broke when we were doing the show. It says, breaking, a federal judge just said that probable cause exists to find the Trump administration in criminal contempt over its defiance of an order to turn around a plane carrying Venezuelan migrants that was bound for El Salvador. Now, we all remember this. This was when you had an activist judge, again, putting illegal aliens ahead of American citizens, right? We had, I think we got another one here. It was Judge Boasberg. And it says, Judge Boasberg files an opinion finding Trump administration in criminal contempt over deportation flights. This was the ones that originally happened where the planes were in the air. I think they were outside of U.S. airspace, and a judge tried to order those planes to come back. It's just crazy. And this one was from Julie Kelly. As I had warned, Boasberg just filed an opinion finding Trump administration officials in contempt. It says it's important to remember SCOTUS has vacated his 2 restraining orders Boasberg now claims were defied and the basis of his contempt findings. So think about that. His basis for his contempt findings are 2 restraining orders that the SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States, has vacated. And she puts down here around 8 a.m. This course learned that it had drawn the case through the court's random assignment system. And it goes on. So we'll probably cover some of this depending on how big it is. I'm going to look at the details while I'm getting ready for the next show. The next show will be in about 3 to 4 hours, depending on how much stuff we put into it. I want to thank you all for being here today. Thank you for your support. If you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. Hit that like button, please. Share this out. Again, the more people that see it, the more people that can at least do their own research. What's really going on here? Don't take my word for anything. Look it up yourself. You all have the access. Again, we will be traveling tomorrow. We need gas, food, and lodging. We are 100% viewer funded. If you guys want to help out, we appreciate it. You can go to Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army, GiveSendGo.com/Oreo 2024. And then we have a Zelle link. If you use the Zelle bank transfer apps, go to our website, theoreoexpress.com. Check it out. And then we have a donate now button, has all our links. We want to say thank you so much for everybody that joined us yesterday, that joined us in this show. And we will be back a little later today. And you will see us then. So God bless you all. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you soon.